All right, so wanted to have a lesson today, and you said backhand was what you wanted to work on,
Yep.
right? I think it's important to just talk through, because most coaches, even online, if you say I want to work on my backhand, they're going to prescriptively kind of, okay, they're going to go over, feed some balls, they're going to watch, and then they come over and they're going to kind of put you in these checkpoints in terms of, you know, a prescriptive approach in terms of where the elbow needs to be, the hand, low to high, all of these different things, which is all fine. I take a little bit different approach because tennis is an open skill sport. So if you were to play golf, we would take that approach and that would work fine. The reason is because you know where the ball is, right? And you know where your target is, and it's very easy to go up to the ball and get your feet aligned and then go through those prescriptive pieces, you know, where my elbow is. But in tennis, it's an open skill sport, meaning the ball is moving, so we have to adjust. As well as in golf, you have, 14 clubs. So if I want to hit 150 yards, I pull out my 8-iron and I use the same swing. If I want to hit 165 yards, I pull up my 6-iron and I use the same swing. Where tennis, we're doing different things based on the ball that we're receiving. So all that being said, in today's session, I'm going to go over, we're going to hit some balls, I'm going to take a look, and I'm going to see the technical things that we want to work on. And I've got a tablet here. I'll show you. I'll also maybe show you some pro players to set an example or compare you to. But the other piece, which we're not going to do a lot today, I've got the target set up here. I've got down the line, cross court, and short cross court. So if you were to watch a YouTube video, most likely all of the lesson would be right here. And there would be no consideration to any targets at all. And you would watch that YouTube video thinking all the things that you need to do, all these checkpoints, but there's been no regard to target 1, target 2, target 3. And I think that's kind of my point, is that in tennis, we have to be able to adapt to the different targets. And it's not always just the stance, it's the contact point, could be what you do with your hands. It's also the ball that you receive, right? And to be fair, most coaches aren't going to come out and feed you some knifing slices or really high balls, because it's going to make you, feel like you didn't accomplish. You want to feel good when you leave the lesson, but a lot of times when if you receive hand-fed balls the whole time and you look like a rock star, and then you go play a lesson, sometimes, wow, what happened? My backhand was so good, but now I played this match and I can't get a ball in play. And I think it's the fact that it's an open skill sport. It's not like golf where you can just go right up to the ball.
Yeah.
Right? You've got to move to the ball. So that's kind of my philosophy, is that even if we fix all the technical things, that doesn't necessarily, on demand, you can hit down the line. On demand, you can hit short cross court. On demand, you can pick up a low slice. On demand, you can, take a ball on the rise. So that being said, when someone says, I want to work on my backhand, I have to ask the question, okay, well, what do you mean by that? We have to understand what's causing the problems. Is it errors? Is it lack of power, not being able to hit a target? Number one thing in tennis, is being able to hit to a target, right? Because if you open up the court and then you've got a third of the court that you could hit into, and that most likely you'll hit a winner or cause enough damage that you could go up and easily put away a volley. But if you can't hit to that third of the court, and that's all as recreational players, that's all we need. If we can hit to a third of the court, you don't expect to be within 2 feet of that target, but if you can be on that third side of that target, that's probably okay for recreational tennis. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Is that
Absolutely.
consistent with maybe what you've found? you know?
I think so. I think what you're saying is very valid for recreational players, right? I mean, target is definitely one thing. And knowing what is the problem, like with my backhand,
Yeah.
right? So I recognize that I hit a lot of high balls, or they generally go out like a baseball shot. So try to
So I was
steer
going to
them.
ask you, we hit just a little bit
Yeah.
before we turned the camera on. I noticed a couple things. What would you say the problem is with your backhand?
I think one of my major ones is like I hit very high, long balls that tend to just go out of the court.
Okay.
That's when I do my double-handed backhand. If I go slice, then I have much more control over
Okay.
it.
Interesting.
And I feel like the balls that go over the net go too short, and then the net player kills it. So
Okay. When you're playing doubles.
when I'm playing doubles, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So I struggle with that.
Well, so that's a whole other interesting dynamic. So if we want to talk kind of exclusively about doubles, we might have a different outcome of the lesson.
Sure.
You know what I mean? So I saw a few things. I'm going to go back and feed some more balls, and then we'll start hitting to some of the targets, and then we'll come back to the tablet and just take a look and you know, see how
Sounds good here.
see if what I see matches what you feel.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay. All right, I'm just going to start with basket feeds. I'm not going to play these balls to start.
Okay.
Then we might play some live ball in a bit. So let's say for this exercise, just cross-court side of the center line. If you want to go towards that target, that's great. But don't feel like, okay, I've got to hit towards that target.
Stay back.
All the way to the baseline. Yep.
Okay.
All right, here we go. Shuffle back. Nice ball. So what was different about that ball than maybe some of the others?
My contact point felt different. The previous ones I didn't brush up as much. This one felt like I had more body power and more brush up. It helped the ball go deeper.
So that's what I saw. I felt like you had a little more, like the height over the net was actually similar to those others, but
Yeah.
they were landing way short.
Yeah.
The last one, you got kind of into the zone that where the target is. And I saw you had a little bit more racket hit speed, and I felt like the synchronization of your body just was working a little better so that you were able to throw the racket. And that's the feeling that I try to convey is you want to feel like you're throwing the racket without throwing it.
Yeah.
You know, the swing, whether it's a serve, a forehand, or a backhand, it's all somewhat throwing motion, right? Because if you let go of the racket handle right before contact, you would throw the racket. That is a throwing motion. So we want to think, okay, what makes a good throwing motion? Well, a good throwing motion is a good synchronization of the body and letting the body kind of pull the arm. And then right before contact, if you slow the body down, then that allows the arm to release, especially if you're hitting cross court. One of the big misconceptions with a lot of players is they try to use their body too much and they're still turning into the shot, meaning that they're still kind of pulling the racket right into contact. And if you do that, like if you see a lot of players, their first move on their backhand is they turn, their racket is semi-back, but they didn't do anything. The racket, the handle is still pointing towards their belly button, just like it was in the ready position. And as they move, and then they'll take they'll land, they'll take a little right foot step, and as they do, they'll reach back. And then the first move is forward with the body. But what did my racket do? My racket actually went backwards. right? Because it's like a lever, you know, I'm holding this lever. My body goes forward, my racket goes back. Same thing happens at the contact point. As I go to contact point, I'm gonna pull, 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 pull. As I stop, guess what happens? My racket will go. And it's that synchronization. If it's kind of like a 3-part swing, it's like 1, 2, 3. And if you continue with the 2-part too long, then I'm still, my racket is still loading back. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like I'm pulling it with my body, but I can't release it. It's like a whip. You know, if you pull a whip like this, it never goes.
Yeah.
It just stays back. But as soon as you stop the hand, the whip goes. Same with the racket. As soon as I stop my shoulders, and if we're trying to hit cross court, especially this short angle, we've got to stop 2 a little earlier and let 3 happen. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Okay. So let's see if you can work on that, because when we were warming up before the camera, I didn't see a lot of technical issues with your backhand, to be fair, but you were hitting a lot of balls short, they didn't have enough power, and the racket wasn't moving through that contact zone fast enough to get to these deeper targets. So I don't think that you need to change a ton technically. I think it's more of just trusting it and then feeling that it's like the rocket booster, you know, it takes it up and then it releases and then it shoots up in the sky. We need to get that separation from 2 and let 3 happen.
Okay.
Nice. That one, which is normally not a problem with most students I teach, you were actually a little bit too far away from it. I like good spacing. That time you were just a little bit too far. See if you can let 3 happen a little earlier. That's it. Good. Keep that head right on contact. Don't feel like the sensation of, oh, my target's over here. I want to let your body rotate around your chin. Tough feed, sorry. That's perfect. So you let 3 happen because you had to get to this cross-court target from that position. Nice. Way to lift up on it. Good. That's it. Now that I felt like had good synchronization. You were pulling, 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 pulling right before contact, slowed the shoulders down, let the racket come around.
Woo!
That's in. Keep that head still. Good. Good swing. Hesitant to make a comment here, but I know that you would get a little bit more power if you had just a little bit longer swing. And I don't know if you're purposefully trying to just take the racket back to here, or if you would feel comfortable to feel a little stretch, like especially as you stalk the ball and when you find your position. I like to find my position with my left foot. Find my position with my left foot. When I take the little right foot step, that's when I reach back. You don't really get in this position. You pull from here.
Okay.
So if you can synchronize this right foot forward step and a reach back, you'll feel some stretching in your obliques here, and then pull and make sure you extend that left arm through, just to get a little bit longer runway.
Okay.
You know, we're trying to take off a bigger plane on a short runway, so I think if we had a little bit longer runway, that would help you free up some power.
Okay.
that head still. Nice, it looks good. That's the height. So I was gonna make a comment on the last one. You hit that well, but you know, it was here, right? And recreational players, that's a danger zone, right? We don't need to hit the ball. We're not hitting it 85 miles an hour all the time.
Yeah.
So over my racket would be a good height for you, I think, with your pace. And that's what you did on the last one, and it went nice and deep.
Sorry.
No worries. Good. That's how you let 3 happen.
Whoa.
That's all right. Sorry, bad feet. Good swing. So that was the old swing. It was kind of short, which is okay, as long as you have a really good hand speed to send the ball.
Watch the ball.
Personally, I like a little bit bigger run weight. Nice. Just got to get a little bit higher. That's it. That's a great ball. And the conversation we were having earlier, like, that's all you need to do. Like, if you're able to, and tactically, a lot of players, they think, okay, I just want to be steady on my backhand, right? Well, to me, steady means we still have to hit to a target, right? So if you can hit to that target, that height over the net, you know, you're going to be fine. You're going to be able, and then just look for forehands. If you want your forehand as your weapon, which most players do, to be fair, a lot of female players, they use their backhand as a weapon, all right? But I think the main thing is that if you can consistently hit to that target, you don't have to think, oh, I need more topspin. No, you don't need more topspin. You just need, you know, as long as you can hit to that target, it's fine. Nice ball. And the reason I wanted a little bit longer runway, I'm going to tell you in a minute. That's it. Right. Good. All right, so I'm going to alternate. We're going to go cross court, then down the line. Okay? Cross court. All right, a little shorter. Now down the line. Cross court. A little shorter, now down the line. Yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to see. Cross court. Down the line. Cross court. Down the line. Good ball. The benefit of having a little bit longer runway, on the backhand, we have the benefit of using the left hand, okay? If our contact point is far in front for most of our balls, then we're not going to be able to use the left hand that much.
Makes sense.
Well, this is counter to what a lot of coaches will tell you. They want the contact point out front a little bit, but if the more you can use your left hand, the easier it is to be able to hit to these targets from a tighter window, right? Otherwise, if you're not using your left hand to hit to the cross court target, you're going to be way out in front. To hit to the down line, you're going to be, you know, further back. Whereas if I can use my hands a little bit more, I can hit down the line and cross court, you know, off my front foot, just by controlling the racket face with my hands a little bit more. So And that's, you know, you're not a beginner, right? And I probably wouldn't talk or go in this conversation with a dead beginner, but at some point, you know, it is important to be able to use the hands with the backhand, because that's one of the benefits of having a two-hander, is being able to use that left hand, pull it cross court, especially this short target. And I think that it's going to help you with the down the line target, because when we start moving into, you know, using the backhand as a weapon, we talked a little bit about that early on. It's like, how can it be a weapon? Well, it can be a weapon by being able to, on demand, hit to these targets. Not so much, you know, you don't need to crush it or add a ton of topspin, but if you can start hitting your backhand down the line, that's huge. That like changes the whole game, because your opponents, in most cases, if you hardly ever go down the line, then they're going to, you know, especially playing doubles, they're going to start poaching on you or taking away the middle. They're going to dare you to go down the line. If you're able to hit down the line, now all of a sudden you're going to have a lot easier cross-court shots, because they're going to be covering the line a lot more. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So why don't we try this again? 2 shots, one down the line, or one cross-court, one down the line. See if you can move the contact point just a little bit back. You know, more length back here. Move the contact point here. You know, delay that hand release on the down the line, but really let the hand release on the cross court.
Okay.
See what that feels
I just need
like.
a sip of water real quick.
Okay. All right, cross court. Down the line. Got to get up to it.
Okay.
So you set your feet up too far behind it. You need to really move up so you move that contact point back. All right. Cross court. Down the line. That's better. Cross court. Great ball. Down the line. Nice. Cross court. Down the line. Try to get up to a little bit more. Cross court. Sweet. Oh, sorry, down the line. Yeah, tough one. Cross court. Down the line. All right, last 2. Cross court. Down the line. Good. All right, let's take a look at the video.